Do you want to take yet another risk? That is the title of this video, and what I mean by another risk is, do you want to take another risk with government? Because that's essentially what people do every single election cycle, or every single election is. They vote, they come into office, and then they do their shit. Politicians do their shit. You know, they vote, they get inaugurated, they do their shit, and I don't like that cycle anymore. I don't like rulers coming into power and just doing their power thing, you know. Starting wars, Afghanistan and Iraq, you know, like those two shitty wars. You know, throwing people in jail for a plant, truancy laws, eminent domain, police brutality. You know what I'm talking about. I've talked about this like thousands of times. What I'm here to say is, do you want that to keep happening? Because that's what happens with government, is this shit keeps happening, you know? And the only way to stop shit from happening, like endless wars, is to stop politics from happening. And to stop politics from happening, you need to stop voting for starters. You need to stop going to a machine and clicking a button that decides who you want to rule over people, who you want to take your money as well as that of other people's, who you want to take your rights and that of other people, who you want to be getting all this money and power for being elected, for ruling over people. I mean, that's the only way it can be. I mean, well, it's not the only way to get rid of government, but it's the only way to get rid of government is to really stop participating in it. And that's a start, and you can start by not voting. I don't support voting, at least not political voting. I mean, if you want to vote for what your favorite movie is, or what restaurant to go to, fine, sure. But voting to have people rule over people, no, that's not cool. So, it seems like people think that if they choose better politicians, that things will get better, but they don't, because politicians are inherently dysfunctional positions, dysfunctional people for dysfunctional positions. You can't have better politicians. You can't vote better. You can't have a better government, you know? You just can't have any of that stuff because it's inherently dysfunctional, it's inherently flawed, and it's inherently wrong. So, I think people need to stop taking yet more risks with government. I think people need to see what government for what it really is. Bunch of power-hungry psychopaths, as Larkin Rose calls them, who just want your money and just want their power. So, you just keep getting more of the bullshit with more of the government. So, I think it's time to stop taking yet another risk and to just have a free society. A free society where you don't have to worry about rulers, where you don't have to worry about wars or gun control or truancy laws or eminent domain or police brutality. A society where you can just live your life the way you want to, as it's meant to be lived, since it's your life. So, as an anarcho-capitalist, as a voluntarist or agorist, I urge you to not take yet another risk with government. I urge you to just be free, to not vote, to, you know, use counter-economics like Bitcoin, to disobey unjust orders, maybe even to tax evade. You know, I urge you to do that because, you know, yet another risk is yet more failure.